Welcome back to a brand new podcast, everyone, with myself and
One and only.
oh, there we are. So, everyone, lockdown 3.0. It's we did lockdown one, we did lockdown two. We never thought there was we did kind of think there was going to be another lockdown. It was always in the kind of feeder. We kind of expected it, but it's a bit of a shame it's come to this. But however, there's no point in dwelling on the negatives. What we've got to do is focus on getting some positivity out of this and take it into a I like to say start this with I was watching Narcos, on Netflix.
Yeah.
And the saying goes, he said, it's just one of the situations, he said, what you got is a shit sandwich. And he goes, what you got to do is add a little bit of mustard to it. So I feel like what we're at the moment, we're eating a shit sandwich. However, if we can add a bit of mustard to it, it might taste a bit nicer. All right.
Yeah, a bit of mustard on that.
I'm going to start with that. But I'm just checking in with Fionn. How you doing, bud?
I'm very good. Yeah, I was just now you're saying that, looking at the positives and stuff, that just kind of spread to my head. If you think about it, this is for us. Well, kind of where it all began with the streaming, the podcasting, the daily videos and stuff. Because it was right in this chair that I was sitting, and right in your chair that you were sitting, that we did our first kind of podcast and streamed it live on Facebook. So, we've kind of spread the mustard on thick with that one, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it just shows that obviously we make sure that we show up every single time, making sure we're doing the dailies to show the accountability and the resilience. And people should be doing that with their health and fitness journey.
Yeah, I think you kind of got which I fall victim to not doing sometimes, which is natural because we're all human at the end of the day. But it's kind of walking your talk, isn't it? Really, sometimes you've got to kind of turn up and show people that you're not just all just like a barking dog, if you like. You actually do practice what you preach. That's what I'm looking for. Practice what you preach. So I think us doing the lives and the videos and the constant posts and checking in and that stuff just shows people that we're serious about what we're doing, and we're kind of there for people, and I hope people realize that as well.
Massively. And that brings us to our topic. So it's kind of the tools of looking after yourself during this lockdown 3.0. And we'll kind of come up with a few tools. I mean, I'll say one, then move on to you, Phil, and you can say one and see what you think. But for me, you've got to be careful what you say, because you've got a lot of out there. And we're like the devil and the angel, right? I'm like the devil, I'm a bit more like, a bit more say it how it is. You're angel, you like to look after people and stuff like that, and we both like to look after each other. But for me, I had this someone on TV was saying, oh, it's okay if, like, say for example, that you don't get changed in the morning and stuff like that. And I find that a bit of a tough one, because I understand people are going for a tough time at the moment. I completely get that. And some people's situations, it's so hard at the moment. I mean, people are either, furloughed, they might be out of work, they're homeschooling. I completely get that. But to not even get changed in a day, how can you get back from that? Do you see what I mean? So for me, I've got a little tick list I do. And if I do my little tick list, I'm quite happy in my day. I feel like everybody needs their own little virtual tick list, or they need a manual tick list like I do. And it doesn't have to be ran a marathon. It doesn't have to be you did like an hour gym session. It could just be drank 2 liters of water. It could be, for example, read 10 pages of a book, and I would always say that unless you have these kind of regular habit and habitual things daily, like, for example, having a shower, brushing your teeth, just like going to work. I treat every single day like I've gone to work. Monday to Sunday, I get up, I do my morning routine, I clean my teeth. And some people might go, well, that's a bit robotic like, but I would rather be in a routine of doing that than a routine of just getting up whenever I wanted to get up. I like just crawl to the sofa, drinking a coffee and watching ITV Good Morning, and just filling my brain with constant negative crap about the virus, about Donald Trump, about all that stuff, constant fear. Gets to about midday, probably have something to eat, right? Still haven't left the house all afternoon, sat in, probably watching a load of Netflix. By the time the evening comes, it's dark, can't be asked to leave the house. I've done 1,000 steps on my watch, and I feel like absolute crap.
That's why you still haven't got changed.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I think that day, what you've just described, from Monday through to Saturday, or you know, I think on a weekend. This is just my perspective. I know you're a little bit different. Everyone's different. Just trying to throw a little bit of what do you call it? What's the word I'm trying to describe? Where it's
Spanner in the works.
no, trying to throw a little bit of transparency in there for some people, that, you know, although some people may find that routine robotic, what you've just described, you know, for some people that's the reality of what they do, and you know, that's all they know. And maybe even before the lockdown, they were kind of out of work, or their work hours were, you know, like a night shift, so that's the only thing that they could do. You know, they kind of got up and they're kind of lazy and quite lethargic. And I think that has its time and place. So for me, on a weekend, maybe it's a Saturday or a Sunday. Usually on a Saturday, obviously I do my cafe job, but obviously that's closed at the moment. So I'm always up on a Saturday morning and working at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So a Sunday, I kind of like to, you know, not set an alarm and kind of say to myself, well, you know, I've got no restrictions today. I've got actually nothing that's needing done, you know. And this is all provided that during your week, you've done your checklist, you know, you've stayed consistent with your diet, you've done enough exercise for the week, you know, you've racked up the steps throughout the week, you know, you've got your work tasks done, your business tasks done, providing that you've got all your stuff ticked off and checked off. I think it's all right to have a day, but be very clear, I'm talking about a day, not like you described, you know, Monday through to Friday, you know, through lockdown, kind of just coasting through without any plans and any ambitions in mind. I think some people need to, you know, have that kind of laze, because I think it helps to refresh, but bearing in mind not the 5 or 7 days a week, which some people are doing. Yeah,
I think a lot of people, some people are finding this absolutely fine, this lockdown, and I think it's like a split situation. So some people I speak to feel absolutely fine, they're not struggling at all. Other people are struggling big time. And I find a lot of the people that are struggling big time are the people that normally have a lot of control in their life. They're like, you know, they're maybe like business owners. They control what days they go to work. They control what times they go to work. They control when they go to the gym. They control, you know, when they do this, when they do that. And all of a sudden, their control's taken away from you. And there's no end in sight necessarily with this. So a lot of people, i.e. like myself, we like to know end dates. We've got a project, start date and end date. And, you know, I normally go to the gym, you know, that's where I work. So for me, it was just about sitting down and going, look, this is completely out of my control. But what I can control is what time I get up in the morning, what I do first thing in the morning, what I fill my head with, you know, what time I'm going to have lunch, when I'm going to walk the dogs, you know, and I set the garage up. So I put all those things that I could control in my control, and I feel good. Yeah. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say I don't have bad days. I'm not going to say I have great days all the time. You'd be an absolute liar if you said that you didn't have one bad day or you didn't feel a bit, right? And it cheeses me off when you get personal trainers and people trying to make out that it's the best time ever. And, you know, they're doing, you know, they're feeling amazing. It's bollocks, right? I'm going to say that. Yeah, it's crap. Because if everyone had the option of option A or option B, you're going to pick without lockdown, aren't you? You're going to pick non-COVID.
Oh, 100%. So when normal life.
When you've got people on there trying to make out they're absolutely fine, they're well, delusional. That's probably the word to use, because you can make the best out of a bad situation, which is what we're trying to do. But I think you need a bit of honesty in saying, in a real life situation, you wouldn't want COVID, you wouldn't want lockdown. So don't fib to people and try and make out you're absolutely fine. Just be a bit honest with people. And I think that's what people need, because if me and you are on it now and we're going, oh yeah, we feel absolutely fine, you know, we smashed through it, you know, best thing ever, then the people watching would then be thinking, why do I not feel all right? You know, why are those people feeling absolutely fine? But if we're being honest, you have your mojo go sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I think just before the lockdown, it was maybe, or just before Christmas, actually, it was maybe, I think you remember, it was maybe like, you know, 3 or 4 days, and it was just kind of, you know, what had happened, maybe a couple of late nights, maybe on the booze on the weekend, you know, that then leads to bad food. We've gone over it all before, you know, it's a downward spiral when you kind of get yourself out of line. And then, you know, for a couple of days, and I think I was I just feeling a little bit blue. It was coming up to the Christmas time, and it was, it was getting a bit darker. It was getting wet, cold, and I just wasn't feeling great. And I try to tell people all the time, that's absolutely fine. And if, like you say, it's kind of delusional to kind of kid yourself on to think that you're okay all the time. I think, especially in men, it needs to be talked about a little bit more, that it's okay not to be okay. I think back in the olden days, it was kind of, you had to be like a kind of macho kind of character, and kind of had to put up with things, as do females. But I think it's more rife in men to think that it's not okay to feel down, and kind of accept that, and kind of share that with other people as well. So obviously that, you're gonna have your down days, and you're not gonna have the best days. And I've definitely had a few. I mean, we've only been in lockdown, it's just maybe like 8 days now, or 10 days or something. It's not long, but I've definitely had a day or two where it's kind of been like already fed up, kind of sitting on the sofa doing a bit of work, or even just watching the TV, and you just kind of have a little sigh to yourself and think, where would I be right now if we weren't in this situation? What would I be up to? And you kind of have to, I think it's good to reflect back on what normal life looks like, because it's easy to get yourself kind of lost in your head of thinking, oh, this is going to last forever. You watch the news and they're saying, it could be on for this long, and it's getting worse, and all this kind of stuff. You can spread all that, and it can really easy just start to spiral you down, and kind of get caught up in yourself. So I think it's good to accept the bad days, and maybe to talk to someone. Sometimes talk to you, sometimes talk to my mum. I think when I talk to someone and kind of release it out, it definitely makes a little bit better. But just to throw it out there, like you just said, neither of us, and I don't think anyone has had a perfect running streak through any of it at all.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, completely. And I think the biggest thing for me to say is, like, it's good to accept and say, yeah, you don't forget, but it's also good not to dwell on it. So we could easily both sit in now, I could sit with my partner, Bex, and I could just go, oh, I feel crap. But if you're not going to do anything to try and make yourself feel better, then you stop talking about it, because people are going to feel bad one day and good the other day. Understand that, accept it, right? And go, this isn't going to be a good day. Not having such a good day today. What can you go to make your day better? So for me, exercise, right? It might not be everyone's cup of tea. Exercise. Someone else reading a book, right? Going for a walk, literally just getting out and just walking across the fields. Yeah. Might be FaceTiming one of your good friends. It might be learning to cook a new meal. It might be learning a language online. There's a multiple of things you can do. A puzzle, something like that. So when you are in a funk and you're in a funk, stop saying, oh, I feel rubbish, I feel crap, and then like just dwelling on it and literally telling everyone else you feel crap. Think about what you could do to try and build yourself up a bit. And I understand it might not be the best day, but the worst thing to do is to keep talking about it over and over again and not doing anything about it. It's really, really important that you look at not feeling great and think, what can I do to feel good? Me and Fionn, we went for a social distancing sea swim on Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Well, yeah,
Sunday or
Sunday
Saturday?
it was.
Sunday, right? Now I'm telling you, that's not for everyone. That's not everyone's cup of tea. When I went in there, it didn't feel good. I couldn't feel my hands. However, the rest of the day, I had this kind of extra energy, and I feel like massive from it. I can't stress that enough.
Literally
I felt
buzzing.
great from it. I've been suffering from a little bit of anxiety. Just going to this third lockdown, I thought, what can I do? Started researching Wim Hof breathing techniques. I do 25 minutes of breathing every single morning. I feel bloody good at the moment. Did it this morning. Did my yoga meditation this morning. So I've done an hour of that this morning, and I feel great today. It's just working out what works for you. And I'm not going to tell people everyone should be doing chants, and mantras and meditation. But if it
works for you, then
exactly. If you haven't given it a go, and you're saying you feel bad and you feel low, then bloody do it. You know what I mean? It's only you that can do it. You can pay all you want each month, but at the end of the day, you've got to take some accountability for yourself. And it's proven that meditation, yoga, mindfulness, breathing techniques works. Why would you not do it?
I think if you look at it, it's a very basic diagram. It's not even a diagram, to be fair. But if you're here and you're feeling low, for example, you're at this level and you know you've not hit rock bottom, but you're just having a low day, or you've had a bit of a funk, you know, you're in a bit of a bad way for a couple of days, maybe it's a day, whatever, and you want to try and get yourself back up to normal. And there's this thing, so you've heard of the Wim Hof breathing, or you've heard of, you know, maybe it's a 5-minute power walk a day, or you know, some kind of new habit or skill or technique that you want to learn, to try and get you out of that, and that might bring you up here. If you try it and it doesn't work, you're only going to be in the same situation. I think people are so scared of getting let down and getting, you know, and kind of expecting to fail at something. But the thing is, if you know, you're never going to succeed if you don't try. So you never, if you don't try new methods, if you don't explore new experiences, you're never going to be able to move past where you are now. So I think people need to kind of take that leap of faith, because sometimes it doesn't work out. I think I was listening to Jordan Belfort. I was listening to one of his speeches the other day. He did like this seminar thing, and he was saying that, you know, in business, I think it's 98 or 99% of businesses in their first year flop, and it takes a businessman or businesswoman in that 99% 3 to 5 times to build a successful business, right? And you think about the things that they're throwing down on the line. So they're throwing down finances, potentially family, you know, social time. They're risking everything to make this work for them, because they have this dream, they have this focus in mind. But people are scared to go outdoors, or people don't have the energy to read a book 5 minutes before bed, or, you know, people don't have the time to do a 10-minute stretching before they go out and walk the dog. So I think people need to be a little bit braver and kind of, you know, put the shoes on, if you like, you know, wear the trousers, and 100%. Just kind of say to themselves, look, you know, this needs to be done. I need to make a change, and I'm just going to go and do it.
I think a big thing is that people want it here and now, don't they? Like, you know, you're always talking. I mean, I've been doing fitness instructing since I was 18, so like 13 years, and so much has evolved, so much has changed, and the way you teach it is still relatively the same. You know, a squat is a squat, a lunge is a lunge. You know, you eat veg, you eat sweet potato. It's pretty much basics. The mindfulness and the mental health side of it's come in massively, and like calorie tracking, you know, it's boomed. Literally, when I was started, calorie tracking wasn't really mentioned, wasn't really a thing, and it was all about cardio. You know, it was a lot more dance-based classes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So resistance-based training or strength-based training, especially in females, and also calorie tracking, just like. It was like the aha moment. It's like, wow, this is what we can understand, and making people more the accountability is coming into it, you know, and the mindfulness. But you can't expect someone to do it for you. You know, that's the big thing. Like, we can give you all the advice and guidance, and actually sometimes you need to pay to play. A lot of people, we give all this stuff, but we're happy to give all this information out for free, and we'll keep doing it. We'll always keep doing it, and as long as people keep sharing the posts, which we really keep appreciating, and mention it to their friends, etc., then I think it's great. But if you really want to get results, you won't get results from doing a free plan. You've got to pay to play. So if you're one of these people at the moment and you're stuck in a rut and you're thinking, well, I really want to do something, you can go on YouTube, you can type in 10-minute hit workouts, and you can, you know, get the free guidance information. But normally, unless you put down cold hard cash, you won't take it seriously. And I think the problem with a lot of people is, we know meditation improves your life, improves your mental well-being, reduces stress, reduces anxiety, makes you feel more in the present, in the moment, makes you feel better about yourself. Who does it? I do it. Do you do it? No. But then you might not need to do it, because you might not be in that situation where you feel like you need to do it at the moment. I got to a point where I felt like I needed to do it to reduce my stress, right? One, we know that outdoor walking makes us feel better. Right, it's proven, guaranteed fact. It's the easiest thing to do. Maybe we're self-isolating, so we can't walk outdoors. So before anyone jumps on that bandwagon, right, I understand that, but there's nothing stopping you from walking on the spot in front of your TV. But outside air, grounding, makes you feel better. We know it's good. Those two are free. Meditation and walking is free, right? We know working out makes us feel better. We could do a 10-15 minute workout every single day. There's so many workouts you can do. and we've trained people that have got Parkinson's, MS, right? We've trained 97-year-olds. So I don't want to hear an excuse about people saying they don't have time to exercise or they can't exercise. Yeah. I've got mums with 3 kids have been doing Zoom sessions with me at the moment. So there's definitely, everyone can do something, can't they, Fionn?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's, before I start.
I think, yeah, but no, 100%. I think you're completely right. And, you know, it's all, I think the devil in there is coming out, and I think people need to see the devil sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
If you, like the old cartoons, you know, how you've got the devil and the angel at either side of your head kind of thing. And sometimes, you know, that fiery kind of kick up the, you know, needs to come out, and people need to hear it, because if they're sitting at home and they're hearing, you know, oh, you know, they're watching Piers Morgan or any kind of whatever story you were talking about, saying, you know, it's okay to stay in your pajamas, and they're hearing that and they're thinking, oh, you know, they kind of get complacent. Sometimes you need to hear someone. It doesn't even need to be us. Sometimes you just need to hear someone and say, you know, that's not all right. You know, kind of get up and get it done. Kind of, you know, just a bit of like army style motivation. You know, like
definitely,
you know, fall in line and kind of get on with it.
And I completely get when someone says, oh, say someone's suffering from clinical depression. Say someone is literally suffering from clinical depression. I can't just say, smile, be happy. It's stupid to say that. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of people that aren't actually suffering from clinical depression. We're suffering from about a low mood syndrome. Okay, we're low in our moods because we're not doing the things we used to do. So the people that've got clinical depression or bipolar syndrome and stuff like that, completely separate, right? Majority of us are just lower in our moods. We're not feeling as good as what we used to feel, right? And I'm focusing purely on these people here. People with depression, you should go and seek medical attention, medical guidance, and still try and get up, still try and go for your walks. I think it's all great, right? But the people that are lower moods, don't say you've got a clinical condition when most people just are lower in their moods, right? I'm just lower in my mood. That's the thing. So I make sure I do things to boost my mood. And that's the big thing. And for people on there, you've got to be careful, because everyone's all going, oh, it's okay to not do this. It's okay not to do that. Well, I actually don't think it is okay, you know, to, for example, if you're not clinically depressed, to not go out for a walk every single day, and not get some fresh air. We've got 24 hours in a day. We sleep for 8 of them. We're not commuting. You know, we've got a lot more time now where we should be getting out and getting some fresh air, whether it's just a 10, 15, 20-minute walk, absolutely fine. That is a non-negotiable for me. We should all be drinking plenty of water, right? What's your non-negotiable? Give me
my non-negotiable at the moment is drawing back my wake-up time, because at the start, it was kind of like, you know, not really, well, I was setting an alarm, but I'm kind of sleeping through it. But at the moment, I'm kind of getting myself back into that habit of wake up, works mode, you know, kind of break, you kind of work mode, kind of maybe go and train or go out for a walk, and just, you know, kind of setting up that, kind of putting a bit of structure back into it. Because I think without that, we had to talk about it the other day, you know, kind of looking at each other as habits and stuff, and just kind of saying, well, for a lot of people, whether you're at home or whether you're still at work, you need to have the structure in your day, because if you're not working at the moment and you're going to go back into work, normal life is going to be so much harder if you're not kind of 100%. Structured. If you've kind of just got things mumbo jumbled into one, and you're less likely to achieve things as well. So my non-negotiable at the moment is kind of reining back my wake up time, and then as soon as I wake up, you know, kind of getting the things done, the hard task done first, and putting the structure in, kind of like using my journal that you bought me, using that, planning out the day, and just putting the structure back in, which I think people need to kind of correlate to as well.
Definitely.
But I was going to say about the walking, for people that are listening, obviously you're saying, you know, if you think it's not acceptable to not go out for a walk during the day, and you said about people who we've got a lot more time at the moment. Some people who are still who are like maybe furloughed or working from home. Some people are still working as usual, going into work, you know, 5 days a week, etc. Those people may have an argument. I just want to clear it up, just in case anyone was listening. The people may have an argument that, you know, we don't have more time. We're still working. You know, everything's as usual. But if that's the case, you should be allowing time in your day to walk anyway, you know, before on your lunch break or after work. So just wanted to clear that up for some people. You know, it should be a habit you've got in place anyway before we get, you know.
And I'd argue that, you know, people that are doing, I'm not for like a banner. If someone's, you know, like NHS workers, for example, who are doing like 12, 13-hour shifts and they're absolutely exhausted, you know, I'm not hammering these people at all. People that are like, say, business owners, like myself, you know, and yourself, for example, I've got no excuse because I work for myself. So I'm choosing my own hours. That's the thing. And I'd actually say, if you are working a ridiculous amount of long hours and you are so exhausted, in the long grand scheme of things, is that a sustainable plan? It would be like me putting you on 500 calories a day, Fionn, and then going, there you go, stick to that. It's not sustainable. So I'd actually argue, if you're getting to the point where you're like, I physically got no time to even like, you know, to meditate, to do a short walk, then I'd argue probably you're maybe not looking at your hours in a day and actually breaking it down and looking where you can fit it in, because I would struggle to see where someone couldn't fit in a 20-minute outdoor walk. That's just me saying that. But if you can't physically fit in a 20-minute outdoor walk, then there's something definitely up with your schedule, your daily, you know, schedule. And one day might be not a problem, but if that's happening like 5 days a week, then there's definitely something seriously wrong, and you're going to reach burnout, which is going to be a mental breakdown. So I would start looking at your schedule now and what you're doing, and realizing that that can't go on for life. That has to be, you know, has to be looked at now, and there needs to be some form of exercise in there, some form of walking in there,
and allowing your time yourself time to just breathe and kind of think for a minute and just kind of switch off for 5-10 minutes or something. Because you know, you've kind of said it to me before, without if you kind of sit down like an office worker, for example, saying not firing anyone, and I'd class myself as an office worker at the moment as well, because we're sat in front of computers, not putting anyone under the fire line. But if you kind of sit down and look at your computer for 5 hours, you're probably only working for 2, because 3 of them you're kind of looking at the wall, maybe, you know, tapping, checking your phone, you know, doing something that you shouldn't be doing in your, you know, in your room or wherever you're, or actually in your office. You're kind of maybe having a conversation. You can't focus for X amount of time. I always thought you could, and kind of sit down and bash out 5 hours of work or something, but it's just not possible. You need to break it up, which is good. Just allow yourself 5 minutes to allow new thoughts and just kind of breathe for a minute. Take a step away.
2 hours is my max. Anything more than 2 hours, I drift off. I start doing
I'm an hour
work, checking in social media. I'm messaging people back. Don't get me wrong, it's technically a work, but it's not really. Like you said, like an hour's good. I think an hour, 10-minute break, and then another hour, which is really good. But and focus on like certain tasks. An hour this task, short break, this task works well. But I only do like 2 hours because I feel like anything more than that is just too much. But I think we've been wrapped up there. Yeah,
half an hour.